everyone. Welcome to another installment of Insights with C5 Insight. My name is Emily Boito, and I'm joined by my wonderful colleagues, Paige, Malcolm, and Patrick. And for this week, we are diving into Microsoft's 2023 Wave 1 release. A couple of weeks ago, they released their notes for all of the upcoming features that are going to be coming out for the current Wave 1, which is going to be released from April through to September of this year. So what we're going to do is a bit of a round table. We're all going to talk about one item that we're really looking forward to seeing in action for the Wave 1 release. Now, you've heard me talk long enough. I am going to pass it over to one of my colleagues to jump right in, and I'm going to get Patrick to talk about the item that he's looking forward to.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know I was going to get to go first. All right, so I chose the marketing app to talk about some release things because I'm working in that space a lot right now with a couple of clients. And I thought it was also timely that we have been seeing a lot in the news about ChatGPT. So Microsoft is also leveraging a lot of the AI power in some of their apps and some of the updates that they've released. So one of them is about helping marketers and sellers come up with content ideas for their marketing emails. Cool. So they've actually rolled out, it's in general availability next month, beginning of March, at least that's what it's saying right now. It hasn't been updated. And what users can do when they go in there to write an email is that they can open up this panel with content ideas, give it at least 3 short blips, a sentence, a phrase, an idea, and then ask for the AI to write content for the email based on that. And then it gives them a selection depending on how many they do. 3 is the minimum, but you can do more. And it'll generate up to 20 suggestions that people can just then drag and drop right into the body of the email to send out.
That's really cool.
Yeah, that's a huge value add.
And then they're also leveraging it, you know, a +1 on my, but they can use natural language to then set up the segmentation for their marketing lists. I know I froze for a second because Teams.
It's okay. We still heard what you were saying. Yeah, the natural language stuff is coming into all over the place, and it's amazing because that's one of the biggest complaints I know that I've heard is people are like, I don't know how to build the right query. I don't know what fields. So giving them the ability to just say like, I want blah, 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 and it'd be like, I got you. And it just spits it out is amazing. Yeah. So super cool.
Nice.
Who's next?
Well, I can jump. I was going to say I can jump in and take it back over because I rudely sprung it on Patrick. But the item that the item that I am looking forward to is within customer service. Microsoft has announced an enhanced case form that will specifically come into really handy use when initially creating a case. Now, this is currently scheduled for general availability in April. So, you know, knock on wood that that's still the case. But when agents are initially creating a case, as you start adding information such as the client or the customer that you're helping, what will pop up on the right-hand side of your screen is details on the actual customer. So you'll be able to see in real time without having to save the case record. You'll be able to see the customer information, phone number, email, name, information on past case history as well. So then if you're on the phone with someone, for example, you can confirm and even edit their details right as you're entering that case. And then you can also get insight into the history of their cases right when you're initially creating this new one. So if they are asking for an update on one of their cases, you'll have that information at the ready rather than needing to flip between different tabs in your browser. And then another addition when you're initially creating this case is you don't need to save your case record to have access to adding notes into the timeline. So as you're actually creating your case, getting it up and running, you can start adding notes and even attachments before actually hitting save on that record. So I think those are a couple really good value adds to just make it a lot more efficient and to avoid moving between screens and needing to save the record when you start entering your cases. So I'm looking forward to seeing that in action for sure.
I mean, anybody who's tried to add an activity and realized they haven't saved a record, it would be like, oh my gosh, such a time saver.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Or asking or wondering, where is that? Where is it? Where is the timeline, or where's
Yeah.
the, the subgrid, because
Yeah.
I haven't saved it yet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know,
so that's
especially if
cool.
they're working in a call center and they're like, hold on just a second, I'm waiting for the file to save and
Right.
reload the page.
Ex-
Okay,
Reload.
now tell me what I need to know. Okay.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that'll be great.
That is
Okay,
great.
I'm gonna throw it over to
Should
Paige.
we? Oh, okay. I thought we were gonna rock paper scissors, but Paige gets it.
Oh, you should. I
Okay.
took the fun out of it.
Unless it was rock, paper, scissors, lizard, Spock, I wasn't going to do it. So that's okay. No worries. So yes, live long and prosper. So there's so much in this. There's a lot of AI things happening. Something that I saw that I'm really interested in learning more about is there's a couple of mentions of managing duplicates, which on the surface doesn't sound real sexy, but anybody who has had to deal with importing data or dealt with the way that you look at duplicates in CRM nowadays knows that that could really use a little bit of a facelift. So there's actually two items. There's an item around preventing duplicate record creation to improve data integrity, which implies that it stops it based on the information I see. It doesn't necessarily stop it, but hopefully the fact they say prevent, it actually will. That's going to be available in preview in April 2023. The big part about that one is there is a manager level to be able to review any duplicates that might be in the system. If anybody's had to do that lately, look at Run the Job that looks at the review the duplicates. Not very nice on the eyes. The other item around managing duplicates has to do with when you do your imports. This one's pretty cool because it actually seems like it has either some kind of staging table or an interactive aspect with it to allow you to review the duplicates and manage them at that time. So that's pretty exciting to me. And that's supposed to be available in September.
Very cool.
Do you think they'll ever fix the little tiny window where you can't actually see the information to make a determination if it's a duplicate or not?
I mean, between that and looking at the top and the bottom and being like, it's the same record. Why are you still here?
Right.
Who knows? We're looking forward to it.
Yeah,
That'll be wave 4 of 2026 and a half. So
Yeah,
right.
probably.
it's coming.
It's coming.
That's
It'll be here. It'll be here. Okay, Malcolm. Last but not least.
So I'm going to take a little bit of a different approach. It's one that I'm actually surprised doesn't have more documented around it, and it's Viva Sales. And if you've been listening to the space at all, you've surely heard about Viva Sales. It's been talked about for some time now. I've seen a couple of demos of what it can do. Pretty powerful stuff. If you haven't, please do look up some videos. We'll try to remember to put a link in the description to some of the official documentation. But if you just look up Viva Sales, you'll come across it pretty quick. Super powerful tool to help align and eliminate some of the stuff we're even talking about now, the need to go and look for information, much in line with what Emily was talking about, this idea of I'm entering this information and I've got the Dynamics data right in front of me. Interestingly enough, I saw a demo from somebody at Microsoft, and they talked almost more about the Salesforce integration than it has, as they did with the Dynamics, which was kind of mind-blowing to me, just given who they were. But the fact that they're just even understanding that, hey, this is a powerful tool that's going to support sellers. It doesn't matter what they use, let's put it in front of them. To me, says a whole lot about where they're trying to get to, right? This is really, they talk all the time about we're trying to empower people who are using the platform. And in this case, it's very much revolving around sellers. My point, though, is that if you look at the release plan, it has it in there. It has its own devoted space in the release guide. Doesn't really say a whole lot. And I think it's because it's still relatively new and it speaks to what its capabilities are and that there's more features and functions coming out in the future, but it doesn't call out specific things. So I call that out because I'm interested to see where they take it next and
Mhm.
what it's going to do, you know, as things evolve and as it evolves. But interesting to me that they're not calling out any specific features and functions other than just kind of its core capabilities, and probably because there's not a lot of people using it. I've only heard of a few people who are actively using Viva Sales today. So interesting to see where that goes.
Malcolm, did they have a release date for that? Did you see a release date?
It isn't in it, no, and so even in the context of like April to September that Emily mentioned, it doesn't even talk about that. I mean, there's the banner at the top of the section
Sure.
that says all release stuff is April to September, but Viva Sales is out now. It is, you know, people can actively be
Right.
using it.
Mhm.
There's, you know, I know there's some licensing questions about, you know, what does it cost? Some people will say that some of the marketing content will say, oh, it's free. Well, it's free if you have the right license type and things
Sure.
like that. So there's some caveats there, but it is available and active now. But because they're not really calling out specific features and things that are going to be enhanced, it just seems to be an ongoing rollout and an enhancement plan for the product as a whole. So,
Cool.
yeah.
No,
Thank you.
No, that was great. And thank you everyone for sharing. I mean, only mentioned 4 items out of the entire release. We're barely scratching the surface.
Mhm.
And I think I can confidently say with all of us, we did refer to Microsoft's recently launched release planner. So if anyone watching is interested, on January 20th of 2023, we had an Insights with C5 Insight video where we actually talked and did a brief demo of this release planner. So if you're interested in learning more about some of the other items that are coming out with the Wave 1 release, take a look at that video and visit that release planner to get familiar with some of the upcoming items. But thanks so much for joining and tuning in, and we'll see you soon.
Sounds good. Thanks, everybody.
See ya.
Bye.